Welcome to the home of John Kurinij and Robin Hussey. As they prep a typical meal, nothing out of the ordinary. But for John, life just a few years ago was anything but ordinary. On December 8th, 2019, on one of John's many hunting trips with a friend, his life took a dramatic turn.
Well, it was a culmination of poor decisions that led to the end result, which was me being charged by a wild hog and stumbling back. I laid on my back as he was oncoming at 20 feet out, at 10 feet, at 5 feet, at 3 feet. I shot in self-defense and I hit the inside of my left foot.
John said he had no other choice but to open fire.
I did. Otherwise, I would have been gored. I would have been torn up, and so I shot in self-defense.
Although the gunfire saved him from the hog, he wasn't out of the woods, literally and figuratively.
It took about an hour and a half to 2 hours for first responders to find us because we were in the depths of the Savannah Wildlife Refuge, and it was terribly bad. I had severed 2 arteries, not knowing it. So it was about as bad as you can get.
Did you ever think you may not make it?
I didn't focus on that.
Instead, John only focused on the positive. And when the doctor told him about how bad his gunshot wound was,
well, I had a choice. And my choice was I had 1 artery left and it was doing a heck of a job. I had color in my toes, but what I didn't have was, I didn't have much of an ankle. There was about a tennis ball size gap that had been blown out. And so the choice was try to save my foot, which would require 6 surgeries or so over the next 18 months. And assuming that there were no infections or complications, my best case scenario was I would walk with a thump, never run again, never be active again. And I simply told the doctor, I told him that just wasn't good enough.
So John took the second choice, have part of his leg amputated.
The decision to amputate wasn't actually difficult for me. Walk with a limp the rest of my life, or as I told the doctor, he asked, what do I like to do? I like to hunt, fish, and play basketball. And he said, if I amputate, I can do all 3 of those.
Which he has. John saw no limits. From his very first step on his new prosthetic leg, as you're seeing here, he advanced to running and now enjoys all the things he loves, including hunting.
My life is actually better today than it was before. This accident, while it was an event, is not going to define me.
But John's journey did have some hurdles.
Ultimately, I ran into plenty of issues as I was recovering, and I write in my memoir that it's the story of my grandparents and what they overcame that helped me and inspired me to not quit.
His grandparents lived through a great famine and a German invasion in World War II in their country of Ukraine.
They beat the odds, and so they never quit, so how could I?
John eventually took that passion one step farther. He wanted to inspire others to overcome their challenges, so he turned that memoir into a book.
Perhaps someone reads my book and is inspired to press on and not let their event crush them, but instead crush it.
Which is why he chose to name his book, Crush It.
I believe everyone has it in them to overcome whatever they're dealing with. But sometimes times get really tough. Life is hard. People told me that my life was going to change, people close to me. I shut out the doubters. I used their disbelief as fuel, and it motivated me. It's a mindset and it's a choice. We all have the capacity to decide how we want to live our lives. And sometimes we just need a little extra help, and that's the motivation.